Follow the basic golden rule. You ain't gotta be Christian, Catholic. I mean, I'm a fucking Satanist, you know? Like, so I mean, you ain't gotta be none of that shit to me.
You're a Satanist? All right. Well, do you do witchcraft?
Yes.
Like
yes.
what? You bury period blood and take people's hair and do voodoo on it? What's your witchcraft?
But a lot of the people, big famous people in Hollywood, shit like this, a lot of the big people in like your offices of government, there's a chance they could be involved with these groups. There is other people that try to combat them within their rank of society. But
what do you know about Ball?
So,
Nazi or Antifa?
Well, I'm not neither, but I love putting this up because everybody's flipping the fuck out of it. So, who's your money on, Big Siege or Large Marks?
Big Siege.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I don't know. I mean, it's a hard decision, bro. You got Large Marks over here looking kind of greasy and shit. Like, I think he could slip out of chokehold. But, like, Big Siege looked like he ripped, bro. Like, I don't know. It's a hard one.
How are you going to save the white race?
Fucking, what is a white race?
Whatever you are. You look like the same color as your wall. You're the whitest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, so like, what do I mean by this is what is the white race? Like, to me, there's no such thing as a white race. Like, so I come from a background, a European background specifically. I'm Polish, Scottish, Irish, Italian, and that's about it.
Well,
and German.
Yeah, it's true. White has been a changed definition throughout the course of history, right? Like Hitler went to war with the Poles. What about Turks? I mean, Turks are European, right? But people consider them not European.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. It's, to me, I don't know. It just doesn't mean anything.
I agree.
Now, how people act does mean something to me.
Well, you can. How do you act white?
Well, see, I don't think that people act white. I think there's just decent people and there's just shitty motherfuckers. Like, and shitty motherfuckers don't need to be around.
Okay. Well, how do you entertain a good person? Who's a good person and who is a bad person?
So to me, it doesn't necessarily go to your religion or anything else like that, but there's a basic golden rule with it. Like, a basic golden rule. Like, the most common people that have their head about them right won't go out of their way to murder somebody or touch kids or do shit like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes a good person to me. It's somebody that can follow the basic golden rule. You ain't got to be Christian, Catholic. I mean, I'm a fucking Satanist, you know? Like, so I mean, you ain't got to be none of that shit to me.
You're a Satanist?
Yes.
Why?
Well, it came from my interest in witchcraft, but also I like using the archetype to kind of like basically say that, you know, like, I don't mind Abrahamic individuals, but I don't want to follow their laws or their rules. I don't believe you have to be a good person. Like, I don't believe just following their laws or rules makes you a good person. I think you could kind of like do this on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can still be a good person and have a drink once in a while. Fuck, you can still be a good person to be in an open relationship, as long as you don't push that kind of lifestyle on somebody that doesn't want that.
Sure, but why be a Satanist?
It's an interest in the archetype more than anything. I've always had an interest in the devil a little bit. But see, it's more symbolic to me. I follow pagan gods. Like, I follow gods of the past, which, according to Abrahamic religion, those are demons.
Yeah, they are. Why follow that instead of God?
Just never found much in that.
But you found stuff in paganism?
Yeah. I specifically work with Nyx and Hecate.
With what?
Nyx and Hecate.
What is that?
They're Hellenism. So Hellenism is basically Greco-Roman paganism.
Like Zeus and Odin?
Yes. Well, Odin would be Norse.
But also like traditional European paganism.
What's up?
Traditional European paganism.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you do witchcraft?
Yes.
Like what? You bury period blood and take people's hair and do voodoo on it? Or what's your witchcraft?
No, but I do get into some dark things like that. I'm on left-hand path, so yeah, I have done curses before on horrible people.
How does that work? What do you do?
Well, there's a lot of ways in which you can go about it. Like a simple one, like if you're just trying to get rid of somebody that's a pestilence or an annoyance, you can write their name on a piece of paper, fold it 3 times away from yourself, and burn it over a candle. This is a simple banishment. But let's say I want to go further. Let's say there's a really horrible person doing some bad things on my block. Now, if I take an egg that's been laid by a black hen and toss it over his house into his backyard, it has to be clean over the house. He'll lose his sanity. This is old witchcraft, old Germanic witchcraft from the Strassenist Bacher.
Yeah, that egg offering, it's consumed by jinn, these spirits, and they can do things. But, I mean, you are acknowledging God is real, right? If you're trying to get power from demons and these...
I don't believe in maybe God the same way that you guys do, but in a sense, like God to me is kind of something unexplainable. It's something that's not even like a conscience, like what we imagine conscience. It's like everything, it's you, me, and everything around us simultaneously at once happening.
The creator. That's a good way to describe God.
Yeah. But we, to me, I see it in a lot of different metaphors. So I'm specifically very in tune with night, which is Nyx, or the manifestation of night. And then the key to doorways, which is Hecate.
Well, you're not afraid to go to hell?
No, I don't believe in such.
You believe in demons and Satan, but you don't believe in hell?
Well, she's not Satan to me. That's your guys' mythology. Like, it's not Satan to me. Like, to me, it's Nyx and Hecate. And they do reside within Tartarus, and if that's where I go, so be it.
It's kind of a different word for the same thing.
Tartarus isn't hell. Tartarus is where the Titans reside. You're thinking of Hades, which is judgment.
What do you think about Christianity?
I have no problem with it. My best friend is Catholic. Another one of my best friends is Jewish.
Have you ever done Kabbalah magic?
Nah, I don't really work with Kabbalistic symbolism.
So,
he does, though.
Where did you learn your witchcraft?
So I personally taught it to myself a lot, and then I started coming across other people and bonding with them, and then that's when I came to my first goddess. Because I didn't start in witchcraft till I was when I started getting an interest around 19, and then I pursued it at 20. And then by the time I was 23, I was working with my first goddess, which was Nyx. And then 3 years ago, I was called to Hecate, who's the second goddess I've been called to.
Right, so you started bonding with people. Is this blood rituals?
No, there's never anything blood-wise done with it.
So how do you bond with them?
Well, I just created friendships. We created friendships, and they had the same interest, paganism, things like that, so we studied together.
Okay. And you learned from what? From Aleister Crowley?
No, actually, I think Aleister Crowley is kind of full of himself. My big inspiration when I first got into magic, even before I started with my first goddess, would be the grandfather of chaos magic, Austin Osman Spare. He's lesser known, but he did work with Crowley, and he stopped working with Crowley within a short period of time because he considered him a sexual deviant.
Are you a sexual deviant?
Nah.
I want to see how you react. Can I try something?
What?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin.
Curious. This sounded like a prayer.
How did that make you feel?
Like you were saying a prayer.
Did you like it?
I had nothing against it. It was unique sounding.
Okay. That's cool. I was wondering if you're going to have do you think you're possessed?
No. Not at all. Everything is done on my own will. That's what you learn in witchcraft, because that can happen. People can get weird things attached to them, and they can start to become sick from it if they don't know how to banish them. So that is a thing. That's even a thing in witchcraft. Like we acknowledge that there are like weird lesser spirits, that they're not necessarily evil like the way Abrahamism sees them. It's more like an energy that's not compatible with you.
What's another form of witchcraft besides the egg?
Oh, so most witchcraft really is kind of done this. I learned this from Spare. It's kind of done from the self, and also Robert Cochrane. Robert Cochrane was another big inspiration of mine, and he's in the early days of witchcraft as well. He ran parallel to Wicca with what they call traditional witchcraft. So he explains it as you kind of pull things from yourself. So each herb and thing that you use in a ritual or a spell has like a metaphor behind it, and when you kind of throw all of these things together, and in meditational state, maybe burn them in a candle, put them in a jar, however you go about it. You're kind of like doing that symbolism. It's like you're making the symbolism of 1 plus 3. What's it going to equal? It's going to equal 4. So, you know, for example, if I take a red candle, a color that's symbolic of love, well, 2, actually, you're going to want 2 for this. And it's even better if you can get them shaped like the man and the woman. You take yourself maybe and write your name on the male one, and you write somebody that you're interested in on the female one. And you're going to cover it in honey, because honey is symbolic of sticking, basically, in other words. Then around that, you're going to tie red ribbon or red string, one of the two. Then you're going to throw certain herbs on it. So what I usually use is I use pink Himalayan salt, nettle, because nettle actually goes into not just a relife or rebirth, but it also goes into like sexual lust and empowerment with that. Like, in other words, it's kind of like saying sex, basically, in other words, or good sex. And then I take rose petals, because it's always been symbolic of love. A little bit of pain with something that's beautiful, basically, in other words. And I will coat this candle in this, and then light this, and in a meditational state, I will think of what I want to come to fruition.
All right, let me try this one. Can I try another one?
Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Karaudu berabil falak min sharil malhalak wa min sharil nafasatil filukad wa min shari hazitini zahasad. He didn't like that one as much.
I feel like it's Arabic.
It is. Last one. Oh, I missed one. Yeah, no. Whoa, you. Maybe I just messed up falak and whoa, hold on. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Karaudu berabil falak min sharil malhalak wa min shari gazikini zawakab wa min shari nafasatil filukad wa min shari hazitini zahasad. That's the correct one.
It had a ring to it.
Yeah, see, I saw you smile. You kind of like that one. Last one. Karaudu, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Karaudu berabin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharil waswasil hannas, alladhi yuwaswisu fi sururin nas, min janatil wannas. You like it? Ever tried that? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different witchcraft, but there's some good prayers out there too. You don't need to use honey and rose petals.
Yeah. Okay.
There's some good stuff out there. Have you been, was there like something traumatic? Like what made you want to seek this out in the first place?
I don't know if it was trauma. I have had trauma before in my past. I grew up a very abusive childhood. But for me, more than anything, like, I think it was just, I didn't feel very akin with the whole concept of God, because most of the men that came into my life and talked about it were extremely violent. Like, I mean, yeah, they were well off. Like, my stepfather was an ex-Marine, but, well, ex-Marine drill sergeant at that, and a Gulf War veteran, but he was a fucking monster. I mean, he beat the fuck out of me and my mom for years straight and locked us in a fucking house like an animal. And an entire community defended him and patted him on the back and were like, look, he's a war hero. But to me, it doesn't matter whether you fought for this country or not. If you can't act like a legitimate man, people should take care of you like one. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, that was my guess. Is like hurt people, you know. You had dealt with that horrible abuse, and then people seek out things that are negative. Have you tried to, has your curses, have the curses worked on people? Has it been successful?
Yeah, I haven't really done anything that vicious to anybody. The only time something vicious ever happened was when I did an actual prayer. So I did an actual prayer because this guy had fucked with me for years. He had stolen instruments from me and got me into punk bands and screwed me over, fucked me out of money when I moved in with him. I paid my rent on time, and he threw me out so he could move a heroin dealer in so him and his ex could start shooting up.
Dang.
Yeah, no, like, guy treated me like shit, but he came to me one time and he started talking to me over the fucking phone. And he just kept talking over me, and he wanted me to be in a band with him again. Fuck, I gotta take a second. But long story short is I made a prayer to Nix, and he died from heroin overdose 3 days later.
What was the prayer?
I told her to get him out of my life and make him leave me alone. And she just...
Wow.
She's not nice. She's not nice. She's one of the last residing Titans, Zeus in fear.
Yeah. But I mean, look, bro. I mean, if all these curses and all these demons and all these these are spirits and these are witches and whisperers, why not just seek power from the Almighty?
I just never felt akin with it. Hold on a second. Hey, can I call you back in just a second?
Yeah.
All right, I'll call you back here in like 30 seconds. All right, bye. Sorry, this is my boy. Yeah, I don't know. I just never felt akin to it. So to me, like, it doesn't really matter how you see it, I think, in a sense. I think me and my friend talk about this because he studies, like, he came from a Jewish family, and he's, like, skeptical about everything. Like, so he's gone through, like, the whole Jewish heritage and everything else like that. So he understands, like, he doesn't have to do things, like, at a specific time and stuff like that. This is just a carry on of tradition of how ancient people survived. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, some of these, like, prayers and things like that and things they do, like not lighting fire in their house on certain days, just goes back to how they existed back in ancient times. And he's actually studied this from, like, the early evolution of the Abrahamic tribes, how it broke into Islam, and then it broke into Christianity, and then you have Judaism before that. Like, so he's like studied all of this very in depth. He used to walk around with a Bible on him, actually, like, and would read quotes from the Bible and, like, study the Bible very in depth. Yeah, no, he's a very interesting person. And so he looks at religion with, like, a skeptical mind, in a sense. And so he sees it as, like, the values behind it can be, like, very positive, in a sense, you know. Like, if you strip it all down to the basic bare bones, like, don't murder somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
the commandments. Don't harm others, don't steal, don't covet thy neighbor's wife. Well, do you know about Islam?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
What do you know about Islam?
Very little, but we have talked about it a little bit, because his mother's a Muslim. So he has, like, talked about this, like, a little bit, and, like, he's pointed out, like, there's been a couple of them we've seen downtown, and they'll be praying at, like, a certain time, and he'll know, like, the exact prayer and, like, why they're doing it, and be able to, like, tell you, like, yeah, no, this is prayer, is what they're doing. Yeah. So I've had a little bit of introduction to it, but not much.
Yeah. So we believe in one God, the oneness of God, the Almighty Creator, the most merciful, the most high, the greatest, the one Lord. We don't worship man. We don't worship idols. We don't worship anything but God and God alone. So it's seeking power from the Almighty Creator, right? So you're praying to Nyx and to these pagan, but they didn't create everything. You can call them these things. I'm not denying their existence. Of course, there are demons and witches and evil things out there, and, you know, different spirits. But the Almighty Creator, the Creator of the universe, this is who we worship.
No, I mean, I've heard of it. I've even had, like, other witches tell me that I should talk to that spirit, and I'm on edge about it. That's all. I just, the judgment sometimes scares me a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, because
even been
this life is a test, isn't it? I mean, that's the judgment for our actions and everything we do. Everyone, I think we all know deep down that everything we do will be accounted for, and that all of our actions are going to be judged.
Yeah.
I think that's the fear. It is that, and we know that something is at the end of our life. We're going to be judged for what we do.
Yeah. I mean, I believe judgment does come to people that deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Even though I say I walk within the left-hand path, and some people will tell you this, and they're right. Not every witch is a good person. Like, I will tell you that right now. Not every person that works in witchcraft is a good person. There are people that do abuse this. But there's per se tradition or, like, oath we're supposed to be following. So even on left-hand path, I can't just go out of my way and curse some fucking poor child that's done nothing to no one. Like, that would actually backfire on me. From my understandings, from my study and research, that would backfire on me. My job is reserved specifically for people that have been hurt.
But with that power, don't you think you're capable of doing something that maybe you shouldn't do?
Yeah, if abused, I have to keep my ego in check. This is a big part of it, is keeping your ego in check. This is why there's all sorts of, like, these weird teachings in witchcraft about, you know, like, dominating over the ego or getting rid of the ego or the abandonment of the ego. This is really important because people with too much of an ego, they go throwing all of this energy around. It will backfire on them mentally. Like, it really will.
Yeah, the ego is the enemy of everyone. It's a constant battle against our own desires and our will to think that we're better than others, or that we have to exert our own will.
Yeah.
Ego's the downfall of everybody. Everybody who grows their ego too much, it always ends up humbling them.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I've seen a lot. I've been in witchcraft long enough because I'm pushing 40. I've been in witchcraft long enough. I've actually seen this. I've seen people get too egotistical. I've seen them get ahead of themselves. And I've seen them create their own downfall.
What happened? What's the best example?
All right, it would actually be currently like 3 years ago. I got into spiritual warfare with another witch that she got jealous and she started throwing shit at me. But not just me. She started throwing shit at a Reiki artist that works out at the mall now. And like 2 or 3 other local witches that don't even work in black magic. They work in like just healing and things like this. But she started attacking people, and she started out with attacking me. And so another witch friend of mine that works under Dionysus had noticed I had something lodged in my heart chakra, as she explained. And so she did a quick ritual to have that pulled off of my back. From there, what I did is I took further precautions. So I didn't throw death at her or anything. I did something actually very simple. I went out to the dollar store and I bought a bunch of little pocket-sized mirrors. And you learn this in magic is that mirrors are symbolic. Like, they're symbolic of reflection. So I then went around to her witchcraft store where her altar table was, and her apartment where I knew her altar table was, and I put multiple mirrors in multiple hidden areas that were pointed right in the direction of her altar table. Thus being, if she threw any more things out of that table, it would just come right back and hit her in the face. And it did. But I wasn't the only person that worked with that. There was also a Reiki artist that returned her own work back to her. So this isn't even curses. This is just putting up a shield and bouncing it back, metaphorically.
Wait, so you're saying throw things at you? Throw what at you?
Like curses.
And how did they do this? Like period blood? What was it? What did they do?
She tag locked me with a gift. So this is a thing you want to keep mind of with witchcraft. Never accept a gift from a witch, and never give something to a witch, because it's receiving something, and in receiving something they can get a beat on your energy, and therefore they can put a lock on you, and they can put things on you, whether this be a love spell, a curse, or even just fortunate things. Like, I'll let people know sometimes, like, let me have an item of yours, but it doesn't mean I'm beating up on them. It means I'm just helping them out financially or whatever else, you know. And I don't do this for any money. I know there's a lot of crooked witches out there that are like, oh, hey, you know, if you pay me the right amount of coin, I'll do this fucking ritual for you. If I just see people in a rough position, I help. You know, if they're going broke and they're good people, I help them with a money spell. You know, if they're a lonely heart looking for love and they're not a bad person, I do love spells for them. You know, it's things like this.
How does it work? Like Expelliarmus, Expecto Patronum.
You can do it through words. You can actually do it through words. So it just takes throwing a foreign language in front of someone with specific representation behind it. And that's just kind of how it works on the human mind, because they're going to be unaware of it. And witchcraft works in the shadows. So what they're unaware of.
Have you ever seen, there's a witch, I think it was Marina Abramovich or another witch that was saying that the hardest people to put spells on are ones that are praying 5 times a day. Like Muslims that are practicing, it's very difficult because they're shielded. Yeah,
because basically what you're doing is kind of similar to what we do. Like, we give prayers and offerings and things like that. And we're putting a form of protection over ourselves. Like Christians do the same. They pray so many times a day and they put a form of protection over themselves. Even Jews, like Jews themselves. Like, my Jewish friend explained this, you know, he's like, I have God on my side. Like, he's actually open to what I do. And he's like, you know, he believes the same thing. By me giving prayers to an energy outside of myself that I see as greater and like guiding, in a sense, like we're doing that. We're putting a form of protection over ourselves. Actually, the easiest people to poke through are atheists.
I was going to ask you that. So isn't that kind of proof of God if the easiest people to put under a spell are the disbelievers?
Yeah. It's a proof of the supernatural. I wouldn't say necessarily a proof of God, like the way Abrahamism believes in it. Because there are theories as to why all of our shit works like this.
So atheists are the easiest to put under a spell.
Yeah, because they haven't called anything over themselves. They haven't put any sort of energy or protection or anything of the sort. And the only people that are going to really know how to get around that are going to be people that are trained in witchcraft for a while. So, like, I could get around something like that, but I wouldn't do that to someone. There's no reason to. Especially if they're good people, there's no reason to. And their God isn't going to protect them if they're not good people. So
we'll see about that. So you don't believe in hell. Where is Jeffrey Epstein going?
I don't think he'll exist. I think if there is reincarnation, he'll come back as a fly.
So he's punished.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Sounds like you do believe in hell. I mean, hell is eternal punishment, going back as a fly.
We call it Hades in Greco-Roman mythology, but yes.
Okay.
And the thing is with paganism, where it comes a little bit different, is they embraced their darker gods and didn't see them as like something you didn't follow. There was like a portion of society that did follow those darker gods. And they didn't really do like evil things. It was like it was a different understanding. So basically, like the Spartan assassins would actually worship Nyx just as I do. They would pay homage to Nyx, but not just. Like many different people of many different classes and backgrounds all gave homage to this goddess. It was those that didn't want to be harmed or touched. For example, even criminals that were thieves in the night in Rome would burn woodworm to Nyx to evade Roman authorities. This was so she would act as a shroud over them because they might have to steal a loaf of bread to survive the night, you know.
So what do you know about Jeffrey Epstein? Do you think he was performing rituals? What do you think he worshipped?
There is some weird shit that goes on in Hollywood. I have gotten in contact with some people. It's startling. I don't want to put too much out there because some things can be dangerous, and sometimes the more you know.
Well, just put a protection over you. I want to hear.
No, it's not like that. This is like people in your own government that can like track you and have physical power on this earth, like through cops, through the CIA, through judges, through lawyers.
I'll take the heat. I want to hear.
There are groups, and I sound crazy when I say this. I thought this was nuts at first until I did see the Jeffrey Epstein thing. But like I used to talk to a lot of people in the witchcraft and occult community, and I would stumble across some people that did real well for themselves every once in a while. And there was a couple times I met some people. Well, one of them was a former stuntman for Hollywood. And he told me the most panicked story ever, and then I never saw him again. Just as he said, this might be you might be one of the last people I talked to. And he said what I was doing at the time, the sect I was trying to build, was going to combat what they were doing, and they were going to try to cause me problems. And some of those people may have. I don't want to talk about it too loud. But there are groups out there that think they gain power from drinking human blood or killing people in sacrificial manners.
Christians?
No. These people, they're not even Satanists. They're just weird, obscure fucking groups. Now, they do go into a little bit of occultism and things like that, but all the shit they're working with isn't even shit from, like, paganism. It's far darker than that.
So, is it Frankism, Freemasonry?
Oh, no, Freemasons are innocent. Like, Freemasons are rubber ducks, literally.
Literally.
What I'm speaking about, you won't know because I don't even know their name, but I know these organizations exist. And you're only going to get into them exclusively if you have like a lot of money and you're willing to do some really dark shit, like hunt another human being or physically kill somebody.
Yeah, we saw some of that in the Epstein files, that it looked like they were doing manhunts. And even in the Bosnian genocide, the Serbs were, taking money. Millionaires would go there to do manhunts on innocent people, children.
Yeah. It's because these people think that they get power out of it. They believe that they are draining power out of these people when they take their life.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah. No, this is a real thing. This is actually a real thing.
How common is this?
Those people. What's up?
How common is this?
Very, very. Like a lot of your people that are in Hollywood, not all of them, but a lot of the people, big famous people in Hollywood, shit like this. A lot of the big people in like your offices of government or that pull any sort of influence through thousands of eyes looking at them. There's a chance they could be involved with these groups. There is other people that try to combat them within their rank of society, but those groups do exist. Those groups do exist, and they do horrifying things.
Yeah, it looked like Perez Hilton yesterday, this Hollywood socialite, was covered in blood, and on TikTok Live, it looked like he was cutting off his penis, and he was slicing himself. It looked like a blood ritual. Yeah, I don't recommend looking at this, but it looks like you've seen stuff like this anyway, so I don't think it would affect you. It's as bad as I'm making it seem. It was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen. What do you know about Baal?
So this is one that I am slightly interested in to actually study a little deeper, and not because I want to follow it, but it's because supposedly Hecate came from a Baal worshiper. Apparently there was a real Hecate in actual like history, who is now considered the goddess of witches, which is brought into the Greco-Roman pantheon later. And this is a spirit that's spoken to me. But her original god is Baal, but I don't know how much to trust that information because it was given to me by some weird individuals. So I don't know if this is them trying to lead me off into some really dark area.
It seems like you're around a lot of weird individuals.
Well, yeah, I mean, I work in fucking witchcraft.
Yeah, so I don't think that would be out of the norm. What about Moloch?
Okay, so I'm familiar with this. I'm familiar with Moloch. I never followed many of those. Those are more Middle Eastern pagan deities. I never followed any of those. Like, but I have heard of them. It's actually where, so these names are actually kind of mentioned but altered in the Keys of Solomon. Like, so if you understand the 42 demons versus the 42 angels, when you go over the 42 demons, they can be traced back to Baal and Moloch and all of these others and stuff. Like, only they call them that directly in there. And so I don't know much on it, but I do know some pagan societies have been accused of human sacrifice and they're not. Like, and some actually did perform this. Like, I mean, you had the Aztecs that performed human sacrifice, and that's well recorded. But you also had where they tried to accuse, like, Nordic hedonism, or basically, like, Norse mythology, like the runes and shit like that. There was some accusation that they used to sacrifice children to something, and it actually turned out that they didn't. Well, they found a saga on it. And what it was is the sick children that had died early in birth, because medical technology wasn't advanced back then, they were laid at the feet of a certain statue because they believed that deity would carry their child's soul on into the afterlife and keep them protected since they didn't get to live a life here and now. Like, it's like how they had different heavens, like how they had Valhalla, which was like for the warriors, you know, and then they had a different one which was for the Greenland or some shit, which was for the maiden mother and shit like that. And they had different heavens for different people. It's kind of weird when you get into like hedonism or Norse mythology, like Odin.
It's all weird to me. What about the Baphomet? Is this also one of the 42 demons, the one with the fingers up?
No, Baphomet actually came out of a light worker. Baphomet is just something that's been hijacked by people that say they're devil worshippers and shit. It's something that's fun to toy with, but all it is it's like one giant tarot card. It's just teaching you the mechanics of the universe and like witchcraft or sorcery, like all in one drawing, basically. In other words, like all composite into one drawing, like through symbolism. Like it has tits and a penis on it. It's not that they're telling you to become a hermaphrodite. They're saying that there's a male and a female side to your mind. Now, if you want to think about them like electronics or a battery, think of it as negative and positive. And you have to achieve both.
Androgyny.
Place in between both to be balanced is what that's kind of saying. As above, so below. It's also shown in the hands. Like, and then it's also showing that man is part animal, but also something part greater. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in the shape of a man and it's partially animal and it's partially something else. It's kind of explaining a lot to you about like witchcraft and esotericism in general, all into just one drawing. But you're talking about Elvis Levi, and Elvis Levi, however you want to say his name. I've heard it pronounced multiple different ways. However you want to say it, like he was not a Satanist, nor was he like a witch. He was like a white light sorcerer. Like he was, if anything, he was in league with God. if there was a God.
Can I play you this one? I want to see what you think about this prayer. It's short. It's 1 minute. I don't have it memorized, so I would recite it, but. Can you hear it?
A little. It's echoing.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
It's pretty beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
It is pretty beautiful. Beautiful. What you smoking on?
Cigarette.
Dylan.
That's all I got to eat, a cigarette.
The fat people have been on your screen the whole time. I didn't even.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I've been going over everybody with. I was trying to add another meme up there because I'm on OBI. I'm not recording right now, but I'm just fucking with people all day. This is an old meme we made back in the day when I was in like a far left server. I'm not even really political anymore. I got tired of both sides of it. But
agreed.
Yeah, like fucking we made this meme back in the day, and it's always just been, no matter what, it's always been just a great fucking meme. Because it was like somebody took a picture of like the fattest like Marxist they could and like the fattest Nazi they could, and then they put it with like an anime background with the verses like the old animes, and yeah, we started putting bets on it with like Large Marks and Big Siege. Because we used to make jokes at each other like about how like Nazis talk and shit, because people don't really understand the full validity of like where that's gone nowadays and shit. But like if you hear people start saying to you like, "Hey brother, read Siege," you're talking to a modern Nazi. Like they don't tell you read Mein Kampf anymore. It's not like what liberals talk about. No, they're much more insidious. Like I used to actually infiltrate certain groups and shit because as being a Satanist, I was not fond of a certain Satanist group that had come out called the Order of Nine Angles. Now, if you know anything about this group, they're an extremist right-wing group. But not just. They believe in accelerationism. And they're really dark. They advocate like child pedophilia, murder, all sorts of shit. Like they're real edgy. They've been behind like terror attacks, like organized terror attacks, kidnappings, like all sorts of shit. Just look up O9A or Order of Nine Angles. And there's a lot of people that have covered over this, but I was infiltrating. That's how my first Discord server got nuked. Is I'd come back with information and like teach other people about what they were doing behind closed doors and shit. But I went in and infiltrated like multiple Discords where they would talk about shit like this, and they would convince people to start abusing themselves, and they would claim they were feeding off of the energy and shit. Real fucked up group of people.
So it seems good if you're messing with them. It seems good. Yeah. What's your Discord? I want to add you.
Here, hold on. I'll pull it. It's cultist, but I've got like a chain of numbers after it. I got to give you. Hold on.
If you type it in, I just copy paste it.
Yeah, well, I don't have it open at the moment. Give me just a second.
All right, no worry.
So I gotta wait for it to fire up.
Did Ayatul Kursi make you start sweating? You took off your jacket.
No, it just got kind of warm in here. I'm back and forth doing it because I'm skinny as hell. But if you can find me, my pictures of the Terror Jack, and I've got a red beret on.
It's just his name. Hold on.
Yeah. It should be under cultist.
I just friended you. My name is it's SNEAKO Love Speech.
Okay, for sure. I'm gonna add you here real quick.
Well, you ever hear that you kind of look like Peter Thiel?
You know, I've heard that. A lot of people keep telling me I look and sound like Steve-O too. This is another one, but I don't know how to feel about that.
Did you see he had a weird pedophile tattoo about it was like literally a baby getting raped, and then he covered up the tattoo. But yeah, at the time of Jackass, He literally had a tattoo of a baby getting raped.
Oh, fucking Steve-O? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he would do some retarded shit like that. I mean, the guy was just fried on fucking whippets. Like, fucking, I mean, he's like a professional drug addict. Like,
Yeah. At least he sobered up.
right, yeah, at least he's sober now and he's like on Oprah and shit. But back in the day, he was just a whip up, strung out, like fucking fuck up that somehow managed to make it by like torturing himself on camera.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah. Hey, but it's good to meet you, bro. I'll let you go. I know you got that phone call and stuff, man.
for sure, man. Hey, have a good night.
All right. Peace, bro. Hey, W Wizard? He didn't seem like a horrible person. And I got it right. You know, hurt people. I knew that he had some trauma that led him astray. Someone said W Wish. You're a wizard. You're a wizardary. You're a wizard, Hubert. It was interesting, too. Ayatul Kursi made him start sweating. I saw people in the chat saying the gin inside him was started burning up. I played Ayatul Kursi. He had to take off his jacket and start smoking a cigarette. It's only a 1 minute prayer, too. Well, I actually, did you see his face when I was reciting Quran? He liked it. He liked it. I would have allowed him to shaitan regime. Allah protect us from the whispers and the witches and the demons. Why did you add him? He was an interesting person to talk to.